Here's another fucking episode of that son of a bitch that nobody likes, Christopher Columbus. Yeah. Here, we're going to go through his letters, some of his letters that he wrote. What the fuck kind of letters did he write? Did he know how to fucking write? And for all the weak people made of glass that get fucking hurt easily, get the fuck out now. Go to another podcast. Go watch some cartoons. Go watch CNN. Go fucking press stop on this fucking episode right now and go listen to some NPR. Get the fuck out because this ain't for you. We're going to go over one of the letters that Christopher Columbus wrote in the year 1493 on February 15th, 1493. Columbus talks about how first he started naming islands. Who the fuck names these islands, huh? That's what y'all fucking mad about. Motherfucker, you don't get to name them. The first island he named San Salvador. The Indians called it Guanahani Island. And then the second island he named Santa Maria de Concepcion. Then the third island he named Fernandina. Then the fourth, Isabella. And the fifth, Juana. And then he started talking about how he got to Cuba later. And he described when he got to Cuba, he thought he was in the mainland. He said when he got to Cuba, there was no houses or towns or villages on the coast, but a small group of settlements that were there. And the people that were at these settlements and on the shore, these few that he's seen, the people saw Columbus and they started running. But some of the natives Columbus had on board with him had told him that Cuba was, in fact, an island. And so they traveled around it. And then they ran into a place where he named Hispaniola. Then Columbus started to exaggerate how good Hispaniola was. He was like, man, it has a lot of great harbors, great place to start a family and a farm, and the soil is great, and it's so beautiful looking, and there's such a huge amount of mines, gold mines. And on this island, just like all the rest, there's a bunch of naked Indians. But like I talked about in my last episode of the Azores of Christopher Columbus, the reasons for his embellishment are, there could be a few different reasons for this embellishment. So if you want to know about those deeper, go check out that episode. But possibly because Christopher Columbus referenced to a couple different guys in the letter that received gold for small amounts of trade, or trading for things of little value. This is what the words that he wrote. I forbade the men to give them bits of broken crockery, fragments of glass, or tags of laces. Though if they could get them, they fancied them the finest jewels in the world. One sailor was known to have received gold to the weight of 2.5 castellanos for the tag of a breeches lace, and others received much more for things of even less value. For newly minted blancas, they would give everything they possessed, even 2 or 3 castellanos of gold, or an arroba or 2 of spun cotton. They even took bits of broken hoops from the wine barrels, and as simple as animals gave what they had. This seems to me to be wrong, and I forbade it. So this might have been the references Christopher Columbus made to the gold that was there, and that some of the people had received. So during the first trip, this is what he witnessed, and this is what he wrote about during the first trip. We're not going to try to acknowledge the other fucking future trips that he made and whatever happened. But at this very time, when he wrote this fucking letter, these bitch-ass motherfucking historians, the present-day historians, try to say, well, he wrote this letter, and later on we've discovered that this happened. But it's like, come on, bitches. He wrote this at that fucking time. And this is the fucking shit that he's seen, you fucking idiots. He could have been lying, though. Columbus could have been lying. Those guys could have never existed or traded anything for gold. Maybe there was no fucking gold, bitches, right? You weren't fucking there. How the fuck do you know? This is at least the references that Columbus wrote about, what he's seen, and about the people that traded fucking dog shit fucking stuff to the natives for gold and other things. So was it an embellishment? We don't know yet. Because at that specific time that he traveled there, within that specific a little amount of time, that's what he said. Or that's what he witnessed, and so that's what he wrote about. And they might have received a good amount of gold at that time to thinking that there was a lot more where it came from. at the time. And at the time, Columbus said this: I gave them 1,000 pretty things that I had brought, in order to gain their love and incline them to be Christians. I hope to win them to love and the service of their flightness and of the whole of the Spanish nation, to persuade them to collect and give us the things which they possessed in abundance and which we needed. They have no religion, ... I don't want to get off topic here, so let's move on. Oh, then Christopher Columbus just kept describing the natives at the time, saying, like, they're really cool people, really nice, smart people. And he said that those people that had never seen Europeans before with clothes on were astonished. And so he just elaborated on that. And Columbus mentioned that he brought some of the natives from the first island that he touched down on, and he brought these natives with him to show him around all the other islands, and to be translators and so on and so forth. And he said that these natives, that even though they were on this ship for a long while, they learned to communicate with each other either by signals, and they just got to know each other pretty good. And even after a while, Columbus said that these people still believed that he was from the sky, that he was some kind of alien or god or something like that coming from the sky. He says, I'm trying to convince them, but they just don't believe me. And he went on to describe all the other islands. And he said pretty much everybody looks the same, and they pretty much have the same languages. So everybody communicates with each other on the American islands. But the natives on the ship did tell Columbus that there was an island called, an area called Avan, Avan, where the people there that lived there had tails. So people believe some weird shit, especially when they don't have Google, right? And drones. Just check it out. But yeah, he's just writing all the stuff that he knows about and he heard about, and trying to get everybody, make sure that nobody gives up on these islands. So he wrote great about it. But he did mention that he talked great, but he also did mention, he said, here I'll quote, "These islands are richer than I yet know, or can say, and I have taken possession of them in their majesty's name, and hold them all on their behalf, and as completely at their disposition as the kingdom of Castile." Now, for sure, Columbus was referring to the map that he had with him from Henricus Martelas, who said that Asia was actually where he was at. If Columbus wasn't told by these people that Asia was that much closer, Columbus would have said, hey, we discovered a new place and it's not Asia. So in Hispaniola, he started at a town called Villa de Navidad. And he said it was in the territories of the Grand Khan. Because he didn't fucking have Google back then to check out shit to know if fucking Khan was dead or anything like that. He had no fucking idea. But he thought, okay, I read this book, the fucking Kublai Khan or Genghis Khan or their descendants are still in Asia fucking shit up. He's like, therefore, I'm in their territory. And because I have this map, it says I'm in Asia. So here the fuck I am. And he said he left some of his men there to make a little post or a little fortified area. And he says, oh, they're all waiting for me to come back. And the area's got to have a lot of gold in it. I'm almost certain there's gold there. And that's why we're going to make a little area, a little town there, so we can discover that shit. See, Columbus made friends with the king of that area on Hispaniola, where he built the Navidad. He said he was good friends with the king, and they treated each other as brothers. So can you imagine that? Why would Christopher Columbus said they treated each other as brothers? And they had such good relations. And when he left his men there, they were in good relations. So it was written, so it was said. But why the fuck would he say that? Well, if it was bad relations, do you think Columbus would say, yeah, my men are destroying those people and we have control. So don't worry, when we get there, we're going to need reinforcement and everything's going to be fine. But no, that's not what the fuck happened. He said all the men and women on the island were really cool. He said they were all content with one woman, but a lot of them had 20. Some of them had 20 women. It was free love, right? But in this letter, Columbus says, I have not found the human monsters which many people expected. On the contrary, the whole population is very well made. They are not the black people as in Guinea, which Guinea is the word that the Arabs used in Arabic to reference to black people. And their hair is straight, for where they live, the sun's rays do not strike too harshly. But they are strong, nevertheless, despite the fact that Hispaniola is 20 to 21 degrees from the equator. Columbus made a couple references to the natives, what they look like. He made a couple references like how they look the same as the people on the Canary Islands. And I got an episode on the Canary Islands if you guys want to know who those people were and what they look like and so on and so forth. So there's these references that you get through these memoirs of what the people look like, because there's a lot of Afrocentric people, that these Afrocentric channels that say, oh, the natives were black, and when Columbus came, he seen black people, and see, look, he said, they say, I don't know who said it, but somebody wrote that when they got to the America Islands, they had dreadlocks and so on and so forth. It's all bullshit. But anyways, here you go. Here's another fucking reference. So yeah, Columbus said there's no monsters on these islands. He said, except for a couple, he said he referenced the one called Quaris, Quuaris. He says he was referring to the Carib Indians that were on those islands that eat people, eat flesh. So he was told, or so he says, and so it was written. And we did a video on some of those people on a different episode of those people that he met and heard about. But in this particular letter, Columbus says, yeah, these Carib Indians, these cannibals, come to the Taino Islands and steal the women and the people and everything they can. They come on their canoes and steal everything and people. I mean, that's the way it is, right? People are always trying to take from other people. And he said, he described some of these natives. He said they all have long hair like women. They have bows and arrows with the same canes as others, tipped with splinters of wood, and lack of iron, which they do not possess. Columbus wrote all this stuff when he was by the Canary Islands. And I talked a little bit about that in another episode I called Columbus the Pirate, I think it was called. Something like that. If you want to look deeper into that moment of history. So anyways, I just wanted to reference that and get a little bit into history memoirs. Anyways, subscribe and like this channel if you don't. Send it to your enemies and I'll hate you for it.